Well, hello and welcome. You're watching News Now. I'm Tamanna Inamdar. Let's take a look at some of the big stories at this hour. The big one, of course, being an affidavit which has been filed by the Reserve Bank of India in the Supreme Court yesterday on the interest on moratorium case. Now, the Reserve Bank of India has urged the Supreme Court to not undermine its regulatory mandate and lift the stay on classification of NPAs. Opposing any extension of a loan moratorium, the RBI has said in the top court that it has largely accepted and notified the Kamath Committee recommendations on loan restructuring for big borrowers. The court will be hearing the case once again on the 13th of October next week. Abhimanyu Sharma, my colleague, joins with more details. Abhimanyu, what essentially is the Reserve Bank of India saying in this affidavit?
Well, RBI, by means of its affidavit, has urged the Supreme Court to lift the stay on classification of NPAs and has opposed any extension of the loan moratorium. Also, RBI has told the top court that its regulatory mandate should not be undermined and has asked for the stay on classifying on NPAs to end. Also, the RBI has maintained that loan moratorium and deferment is something which should remain at the discretion of the banks as per their approved policy, and a one-size-fits-all formula cannot be applied in that.
All right. I've lost your audio there, Abhimanyu. We'll come back to you for more details. But I also have ET Now consulting editor Maithili Bhusnamat with me just to throw light on what's happening. Now, Maithili, we're hoping that there will be some kind of, clarity when the Supreme Court again hears the case next week. But we do know that the Reserve Bank of India's stance is clear, that banks can no longer stop its classification of NPAs. What is your take when you're speaking to those within the banking industry on how crucial this case is?
Well, yes, it's certainly very crucial because the matter has been hanging fire for many months now and it's been at an impasse. So the RBI has done very well now to file the affidavit before the Supreme Court, urging it to lift its stay on the classification of NPAs or non-performing assets, and also in extending effectively the moratorium on loans. RBI is entirely right to say that this will undermine its regulatory authority and have serious implications not only for financial stability, but more importantly for economic growth, which cannot be divorced from financial stability. It's accepted the Kamath Committee recommendations. These recommendations were made for as many as 26 sectors. Various financial ratios were specified, and RBI has largely accepted this. So the matter, as you rightly said, comes up for hearing on Monday. And hopefully the court will recognize that this is something that it lies squarely within the RBI's domain and will end the uncertainty and return the matter to where it belongs, to the Reserve Bank of India. So I do hope we'll see a final clarity and there will be no further adjournments on Monday, because the matter has gone on for long enough and it has already caused serious damage, reversible damage, frankly. If we have closure on Monday, otherwise the damage might be far too much and it may become completely irreversible.
Yeah, I've got Abhimanyu back on the line. It's on the 13th of October, I believe, the hearing. So that would be on Tuesday. Abhimanyu, give us a sense on whether we can expect some kind of finality, because as the situation stands, the central government has come back and said that we are ready to, waive off the interest on interest portion, which we will bear the cost. The exchequer will bear the cost. So that is already in court. But there are several other parties who want to go even beyond that for relief. Are we expected to see some kind of a finality next week?
Well, the central government had already proposed relief for small borrowers for loans up to rupees 2 crores, but it remains to be seen whether the centre is going to agree for any other relief for the big borrowers, over which the Kamath Committee recommendations are being followed by the RBI. The centre earlier had agreed to support and handhold small borrowers, but it hasn't yet come out with any policy or with any particular affidavit about supporting or financing the interests of big corporate borrowers. So clearly, that is what these petitioners, which not only include power producers and CREDAI, but also people and organizations from various sectors of the industry who are seeking a mandamus relief from the side of the central government. They want the government to subsidize reliefs for them, which the government has been resisting so far. So clearly, it remains to be seen whether the court is going to agree or the centre is going to agree to finance any degree of relief from the exchequer for the big borrowers, even though it has already proposed waiver of compound interest for loans up to rupees 2 crores.
All right, we'll wait and watch. That's the big story that we will be tracking here on ET Now next week as well. Thank you so much, Maithili and Abhimanyu, for joining us for details on that story.